Hey guys, welcome back again to Rebuild Reality, where as always we talk about who we really are, why we're here, and how all of this 3D stuff actually really works. I am your host, Sky Cheyenne, and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys something that I call a runaway success, because I've been having so much positive feedback, so much incredible success with the people that I work with who have been using this, that I decided, you know what? I'm going to share this with you guys. So now I call it the I never know. And I've got three things here, three case studies, I guess you could say, three clients, kind of with different things going on that have used this extremely successly. Now, before we begin, I just wanted to let people know that I finally, have my, well, you can call it a website, but it's actually Calendly up, which is a calendar scheduling thing up where people can actually schedule time with me. I did a whole entire website, was supposed to be able to integrate a calendar with it, just never ever worked, no matter, even though the company said it worked and I paid for it to work. Well, that didn't happen. So went with Calendly. So now I have the link in the description box of my videos, and where people, if they feel that they need that extra leg up, can always get a hold of me. I do like email, help people via email or one-on-one calls and stuff. So it's there now. It's finally freaking there. Yes, and I'm so glad. So anyway, these are a few of the people who did get a hold of me and contacted me to figure these things out. So the first person was a guy who was in a lot of debt. He was in a lot of debt, and he was really seriously struggling with his relationship, and he was married with 2 kids. And he said that they were on the verge of divorce. He was trying to hold it together, but she was really pushing for it, saying, look, it's not going to work. You know, we may as well just face it. You know, there's just been too much that's happened and all this stuff, you know. And he said that he'd been into the law of attraction, law of assumption, the whole Neville Goddard thing for years. So he's like, I can't tell you how many coaches I've worked with. He's like, and I'm talking about the best names, the most known names out there, you know. He's like, I've worked with these people and it still didn't work for me. He's like, I don't know. He's like, I can't think of anything that I haven't tried yet. And basically I was like his last hope. He's like, after this, I'm just gonna have to give up because it's just too much for me. So instead of going directly at it, you know, or, you know, I am happily married, my wife loves me, everything's worked out, or I've got lots of money, we kind of did an end run around things. And I used the I never knew statement technique for him. And so we kind of worked it a little bit, and we did this. So I never knew it was possible to be this happy. I never knew it was possible for me to experience this much happiness, for me to be this happy, for me to feel this happy. I never knew it was possible for me to be this happy. And it seems like that's a very, a bit kind of general and a bit easy. But he said that, he's like, I started using it. And he's like, you know, and I had to go to work all the time. And, you know, I'm working every day and I've got all these things to do. So he's like, there was only so much time that I could spend like thinking about it or saying it out loud. He's like, I'm like hardly ever alone or just saying it to myself in my head. He's like, but I did my best and stuff. And he's like, what was different about this was that, he said, right away, I felt different. He's like, right away, I started feeling like it was true. He's like, I don't know why, but he's like, I actually literally started to feel better. He's like, I started to feel a lot better, you know? And so he started doing this. And he said that on the morning of the 5th day, it was going to be his 5th day of doing this. So he'd been doing it for 4 days. It was starting the 5th day. So he woke up and he said that him and his wife hadn't even been sleeping in the same bed together, that he'd been sleeping out on the couch and stuff. And he had been in the bathroom, and she came in, and remember, she had been the one totally pushing for divorce, totally telling him, this isn't going to work anymore. We have to separate. We got to talk about this. We got to work this out. We got to start moving forward with this, and he said she'd been doing that for months and months. And he'd been trying to avoid it as much as possible, but she came in and she said to him, you know what? I don't even know why, but suddenly the last few days, I've had a change of heart. And I really thought what it was going to be like to be without you and to not raise our kids together, and for them to have a dad that, wasn't going to live with them all the time. And she's like, and I realized I didn't want that. That not only did I not want my kids to not grow up with you, but I don't want to live my life without you. And he said he's like, you could have knocked him over with a feather. It was so completely opposite of what she had been saying, and that when he had tried to affirm that she loves me, she doesn't want to leave, she's happy that we're together. He's like, it just didn't work. He's like, but when I just went this, he's like, and I know that people say, go general. But he's like, it was something about saying that. He's like, because I tried to go general before. It was something about saying, I never knew I could be this happy. He's like, I don't know what it was, but it made me feel different. And I think because it made me feel different, it began to change everything. So he said he went to work that day, kind of on cloud 9, because he said he was just so happy about that. And as he did his work that day, and at the end of the day, as he was like gathering his things to go home, his boss came to him and said, I know that there's, that there has been this position open that I've been considering people for, and he knew it was going to be a better paying job, and he had wanted it, but he's like, I know I'm not qualified for it really. The other people are way more qualified for me than I am, who've been here for longer, who the boss likes way better than me, who they go out and they do things together, on weekends or after hours. And he's like, we just didn't kind of have that relationship, together. And he was like, I didn't even know I was in the running for it. And he's like, you know what? I've been considering this for months. And I know that everyone knows there's this new position opening up. He's like, and I've been kind of weighing, the pros and cons of everyone, and I've really come down. He's like, in the last few days, I've just realized that it has to be you. That you are the one that is totally the perfect person for this position. He's like, and I'd like to offer you this position now. And he said it was like, he thought the position would be like a little bit more money. He's like, maybe 25% more. But it turned out to be, like he said, about 65% more than he was making. So he realized with that much more money that he could totally get out of debt. He's like, with that much money, he's like, I can get out of debt within 6 months, and it's not going to be a problem at all, So he said, my mind was blown. He said, my mind was completely blown. He's like, you have no idea how much I've thrown at this, how many techniques, how many coaches, how many things I've done. He's like, I couldn't believe that this could change everything in my life that fast. So that was like a wonderful to see him have like that much success, because I knew he was really, really struggling in so many situations. So let's get to the second success story with this technique, where we tweaked it a little bit differently. So for the next client that I had, She had been struggling, I think she was nearly 60. She'd been struggling with a lot of health issues, she said, for years. And once again, she had also been into Neville Goddard, the law of attraction, law of assumption. She's like, I've watched 50 billion videos. I've read, I've gone to seminars. I've gone to so many different things, And she's like, I'd had some success on some things. She's like, but with my health, she's like, it just wasn't happening. No matter what I did, she's like, I've been working for years trying to better my health. She's like, but it just kept getting worse and worse. She felt like every single time she went to the doctor that she would get an even worse diagnosis, than she had before. So she had arthritis, and it started, and she had inflammation like throughout her body, and it just started spreading her neck and her hips and her ankles. And she said even her hands were the worst of all. And she had had a lot of difficulty even going to sleep. She couldn't open jars, or even had struggled to open doors anymore. So she was getting to the point where her life, she wasn't able to do a lot. And she said that she had almost been bedridden for the last month. So for her, we tried this. We did I never knew it was possible to feel this good. I never knew that I could ever feel this good. I didn't know it was even humanly possible for a person to feel this good. And she said, so she started using it right away. And she said that she decided to do the robotic thing. She's like, I'm just going to town on this thing. She's like, I don't care how long it takes. I'm not doing, she's like, I'm laying in bed most of the time anyway. She's like, instead of sitting there watching videos and doing all this stuff, she's like, I'm just going to be doing this, So she started doing it. And she said literally within the first, she's like, I don't know. She's like, maybe it was 5 minutes of doing it. She's like, I felt this hum, this kind of glow. She's like, it almost felt like I had this big painkiller or something, come over me, where my body felt completely different, and the pain right away started going, by saying that I had I never knew it was possible to feel this good, because of course creation answers, oh yes, it is, so that's who you are. You're the one who feels good. You're the one who feels fantastic. So you're not the one who's in pain anymore. You're the one who feels good. So it, of course, gives you more of that, more of good feeling things. I'm the one who feels good. I never even knew it was possible to feel this good. So right away, she said, she started feeling better. And she said when she woke up the next morning, she just kind of sat right up and then stood up right away. And it was only then that she realized, I haven't been able to do that in ages. She's like, I usually crawled out of bed, had to kind of roll painfully out of bed to even try and start to kind of push yourself into a standing position. And she's like, right away, she's like, I knew things were different. She's like, I knew everything was different. So she's like, I just didn't stop. She's like, I just kept saying it all the next day too, And she said when she woke up the next morning, all the swelling in her hands that had been swollen for years, she said was literally gone. She's like, I'm looking at my hand, she said, and it's like a miracle has occurred. A complete God-given miracle. She's like, my hands don't even look like the same hands anymore. And she's like, the swelling is dramatically lessened in my body. And so after that, I think within about 4 or 5 days or something, she said that she just realized, she's like, why am I even taking this medication anymore? So she kind of tapered down because she kind of wasn't sure, and she's like, there was never any problems. She's like, I just stopped taking my medication a couple of days after that. She decided to do that. And she's like, and I never looked back. She's like, she's like, I don't know what happened. I don't know why that statement worked when other things didn't. Once again, almost immediately, she began to feel differently. So I was really thrilled for her, accomplishing something that was so important, obviously, to her. And physical things for a lot of people are difficult because they're so close, they're so personal, they're so persistent, they're right in your face, So this last one I'm going to share real quick here was a lady who had been separated from her SP. They'd separated like nearly a year ago. And she said that she hadn't spoken to them. They spoke a couple times after that, but the last time had been several months ago and had gone very, very badly, to the point where he blocked her on all social media and everything. And so she didn't feel like she could possibly contact him, like that he had to contact her, But she said, once again, she knew about the law of attraction, law of assumption, the whole Neville Goddard thing. And she said that she had been trying numerous things the entire time and nothing had worked. So we started working together, and she used this one. I never knew it was humanly possible to feel so loved. I never knew it was possible for a human being on planet Earth to feel this much love, to be this loved, to feel this loved. And she said, once again, she's like, I started saying that. And she's like, within like I don't know, she was like, I swear to God, it was within a minute or two. She's like, I started feeling this amazing feeling come over me. This, where I just started feeling like, wow, like I was enveloped in love. She's like, not that I was in love, like a person being in love. She's like, I was literally inside of love, like this bubble of love, because I was saying that, of course, all of creation responds, because it's like, you're that person. You're the person who is feeling loved, that doesn't know, that didn't even know it was possible to be that loved, to even humanly possible to feel on a 3D level this much love. She said 3 hours later, because she just started doing that like robotically as well, because she's like, and the reason I didn't plan on doing it that way, but the reason I did it was because it felt so good, She's like, I don't know if I've ever said anything that felt that good. And within 3 hours of doing it, her ex, completely out of the blue, messaged her and said, I can't stop thinking about you all of a sudden. And I realized that, maybe we never really gave ourselves the chance that we should have, and that actually I'm realizing now how much I miss you. She said that she almost fell off her chair. She said, he was saying things that she had wanted him to say for so long. And she just, I was thrilled beyond imagination, thrilled to pieces. She's like, oh my God, for this to work on something. She's like, you have no idea how bad it got between us. You have no idea how bad it was at the end, like really bad, he blocked her everywhere and stuff, and it was not good. The things that had happened were not good. So, but here he was, and then after that, they started, he said, I want to see you. And the next day they started, they went to meet, and she's like, they got almost back together almost right away. And she's like, it's been absolutely fantastic. She's like, it's not even like the same person again. She's like, I can't tell you how incredibly wonderful it is now. So I hope you guys will think about using that, and that this can help you too. And obviously it can be used in a number of different ways, depending on the situation. But I think that these are actually very powerful ways to use it with these particular statements. And I think one of the reasons is because not only are they kind of general, so they kind of cover everything in your life, because specifically the rest of you knows everything you want. So everything just kind of lines up. But it wasn't just even that it was more of a general thing than a lot of people were using a lot of times, because some of these people had been using general things and they totally didn't work for them. I think every single one of the people who I have been working with that we have been using statements like this have all been like, I just felt so good. I felt different. I felt better. I could feel it right away, that it made me feel different. And I think that was a lot of the key, and something about this statement, I never knew it was possible to be so happy, to feel so good, to be so loved. And in those things that are kind of blanket things that really kind of cover absolutely everything. But sometimes just the simplest words can click that little lock and open the door within our minds and just let it all in. So I hope that helps you guys. Let me know if you guys end up using it, and certainly if you have any success with it, let me know what you think about all this. And thank you guys once again for being here with me on Rebuild Reality. I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate that you subscribe, that you like, that you share this content, and that you comment below. As always, it's wonderful to have you guys here. And as always, I really look forward to seeing you here next time on Rebuild Reality.